In the dim light of his modest study, Arlen sat with a tattered book in his lap. The novel, Shadows of the Crown, was his obsession, particularly its misunderstood villain, Lucien de Montclair. Lucien, the supposed illegitimate prince, was cast aside by the emperor, accused of treachery, and condemned to a life of isolation and darkness. But Arlen, with his penchant for tragic characters, found himself drawn to Lucien's gentle soul buried beneath the layers of bitterness. "This world doesn't deserve him," Arlen murmured, his fingers tracing Lucien's name on the page. Then, with a jolt, the candles in his room flared, the book shone blindingly, and Arlen's world went black. When Arlen awoke, he was no longer in his tiny apartment, but in a grand medieval chamber filled with swirling magical runes. His body felt different, stronger. He glanced down and realized he wore the robes of a wizard, a grand wizard no less. "Wait, am I?" Arlen whispered, catching his reflection in a gilded mirror. His dark hair now had streaks of silver, his eyes glowed faintly with arcane power, and his hands crackled with magic. It hit him like a thunderclap. He had transmigrated into Shadows of the Crown. Determined to rewrite Lucien's fate, Arlen set out immediately to find him. Following the novel's events, he tracked Lucien to an abandoned castle at the edge of the empire. It was said to be cursed, a place no one dared to venture. When Arlen stepped into the castle's dark halls, he felt a powerful presence. "Lucien?" he called softly, his voice echoing. Out of the shadows emerged a tall young man with striking features, midnight black hair, piercing blue eyes, and an aura of loneliness so palpable it made Arlen's chest ache. This was Lucien de Montclair, the villain he had loved so dearly in the book. "Who dares disturb my solitude?" Lucien's voice was cold, but Arlen detected the fragility beneath. With steady resolve, Arlen stepped forward. "I'm here to free you." Lucien narrowed his eyes. "And why would you do that? Do you pity me like the rest?" Arlen shook his head. Because you deserve better." For the first time, Lucien's icy mask cracked. Using his magic, Arlen broke the curse that had bound Lucien to the castle for years. When the oppressive darkness lifted, Lucien collapsed into Arlen's arms, tears streaking his pale cheeks. No one has ever done this for me," Lucien whispered. Arlen cupped Lucien's face gently. "Then let me be the first." From that moment on, Lucien was a changed man, but only for Arlen. To the rest of the world, he remained the intimidating villain, but in private, he was tender, shy, and sweet. Arlen reveled in this duality, cherishing the parts of Lucien no one else could see. As news spread that Lucien de Montclair, the supposed outcast, was actually the emperor's long-lost son, the imperial court erupted in chaos. Lucien was summoned to the capital, where he was met with suspicion and awe. The emperor, who had long mourned the son he thought lost, was torn between joy and guilt. The crown prince, wary of his newfound brother, plotted to undermine him. But Arlen, ever by Lucien's side, shielded him from courtly machinations. "Why do you stay with me?" Lucien asked one evening as they walked in the imperial gardens. "You could have anyone. You're the grand wizard, respected, powerful, yet you choose the villain." Arlen smiled softly. "Because you're not a villain. You're my light in this world, Lucien." Lucien's cheeks flushed. "You're the only one who's ever seen me that way." Over time, Lucien's true nature won over even the hardest of hearts. The emperor and empress grew to adore their gentle, thoughtful son, while Arlen continued to be his anchor. Though the crown prince remained wary, he eventually accepted Lucien as a brother, albeit begrudgingly. And through it all, Lucien remained the sweetest soul, but only for Arlen. He would smile softly, brush his fingers against Arlen's as they passed, and whisper words of affection in the privacy of their chambers. You saved me, Lucien said one night as they stood beneath a canopy of stars. Not just from the curse, but from myself. And you gave me a reason to belong in this world, Arlen replied, pulling him close. In a realm of courtly intrigue, magic, and medieval splendor, the two carved out a love that defied expectations. Lucien, the once forgotten son, and Arlen, the wizard who loved him fiercely, proved that even in a story full of shadows, light could prevail.